Welcome back to Sarah's table. Pew 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 pew. Finger guns. I have gathered perhaps the set of cutest players ever to grace the table. We're just like a bunch of adorable people, and we're going to be playing adorable little old ladies, and everyone is just going to fall in love with us. So you're welcome, everybody. My name is Sarah Moore. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm going to be the keeper today. And I'm also going to be your favorite person. I'm going to remind you to have some water because you are probably dehydrated. Delightful. And we're going to be playing a game today called Brindlewood Bay, and I'm super jazzed about it. It was just delivered very recently from their successful Kickstarter, with the expansions and everything. And like, it is basically like Murder, She Wrote meets Cthulhian horror, and I just like it's precious, and I'm excited about it. Let's do a quick safety discussion before we dive into the fun. I think that's really important. As you know, here on Sarah's Table, you will never find sexual violence, violence against children, withholding food as punishment, or starvation. Also, today we are avoiding any violence against domesticated animals. We're like not attacking you. If a bear tries to eat you, it is okay to attack said bear. I don't know. Maybe you want to talk to him first. I'm not going to limit your options. Probably.
Is the bear Cthulhu?
I can't listen.
Bear Thulu.
Bear Thulu. You'd have to ask him. I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah.
I feel like if we have a sandwich, we can get away, right? We just have to throw a sandwich at a bear at that house.
Is he wearing a hat and like a little bow tie with a collar? Maybe don't attack him. Maybe he just wants your picnic basket.
Possibly.
I don't know. I think that's an excellent segue into having you all tell us who you are and how you ended up here on Sarah's Table at the beginning of the year. Yeah, exciting. So we've rolled over into the new calendar year. Let's go alphabetical. Anita, who are you? What are your pronouns? How'd you get here?
I took a wrong turn at Albuquerque. Hi, my name's Anita. My pronouns are she, they, and I'm very excited to be here. Sometimes you can find me over on Gen Con TV earlier in the day for table takes.
Yeah. You just saw her earlier in the day for table takes today.
Actually, you did.
It's true.
It's true. I'll probably be wearing a different shirt. But
yeah. Time works differently here.
Wear the same shirt, and then the continuity.
I could. Okay.
I love it.
Big brain ideas.
We're working on it. Me too.
Secretly, Anita only has 2 shirts.
You're not that wrong.
Perfect. All right, Banzai, what about you?
Hello, everybody. I was birthed from the sky crystal in the sky, and then I came down to Earth, and then I was implanted in my mother, and then I emerged from the womb that way. That's how I came to be.
Wow.
I like that you specified sky crystal in the sky and not like the sky crystal of the sea.
The ground. Yeah, they're different.
The ground sky crystal.
The more sky you add, the higher it is. I guess that's the level, right? So you gotta
it stacks. Sky stacks. Yeah.
Right. And then if you bring another crystal, you bring 2 more crystals, and then they'll bring 2 more crystals.
All the crystals.
And then you build a crystal together.
I love it.
If it's all one crystal. Anywho, but yes, I'm Banzai, I'm she, her. And I am also very, very excited to play a little old lady. I was trying to look for my short hair little old lady wig, but I ended up getting like, who's that? The Disney villain in Sword. No.
Madam Mim.
Yeah, Madam
Mim. There you go.
It is giving Mim.
A little bit.
I like it.
She is the best, though, so I'm for it. All right, Faye, round us out.
Hello, hi. I forgot what we were doing.
Yeah.
I'm Faye. My pronouns are she, her. I was brought here on the wind because I heard Sarah calling me. You can find me on the internet doing game design and writing things and world building things underneath the handle Mendari, which is spelled Mendarii. And yeah, this is not my first foray into Gen Con TV. Could be the last. Who knows? I guess it depends on.
Never know.
You never know what'll happen in Brindlewood Bay.
It's true.
Which is a great
Speaking of
segue.
which, Bay is a dark and cozy mystery game by Jason Cordova. Like I said before, it is very heavily influenced by Murder, She Wrote, to the point where the expansion, if any of you are familiar with Murder, She Wrote, is called Nephews in Peril, because Jessica Fletcher has a nephew who's maybe the dumbest person who's ever lived, and he keeps stumbling into, I don't know what happened, but this person is murdered now. So we love that. But I was going through everything, and we're going to do a one-shot set in Brindlewood Bay. And the first thing that we are going to do is we're all going to build our little old ladies. So I sent all of my players form fillable character sheets earlier. And I'm going to just let you know what we're going to be picking in each one. We can do names, I think, last. Let's figure out who they are before we give them a name. So the first thing that each of you is going to pick is your style. In each of these categories, let's not overlap. So let's give ourselves a nice eclectic group. There are a couple. You can pick one that is listed. If something is not speaking to you, you are welcome to make up your own. A couple of highlights for me are Jackie O, All the Cardigans, or Dorothy Svornak. Which, does everybody in here know who Dorothy Svornak is? No, we got to know. Golden Girls. It was B. Arthur's character on Golden Girls.
I looked it up. That's the only reason I know. I was like, I don't know.
I know because I'm a giant Golden Girls fan. As a matter of fact, when the pandemic hit, it is the very first show that my husband and I binged. Like, we were like, Golden Girls time.
I will also point out there are technically like 12 slots if you include the form fillable one. So if you didn't want to pick and you just wanted to roll a die,
you could if you wanted to roll. Does anything speak to each of you? What's calling your name?
I think I always vibe with Hippy Dippy.
Uh-huh.
I also think that speed walking is so funny. It's very visceral.
Yeah.
But it's a very different, those are two completely different
Very
vibes.
different.
Speed walking and hippy dippy. That's
Also,
what you were
All the
saying.
Cardigans is great.
Listen, I once had a teacher that was a notorious speed walker, and she's one of the few reasons why my lip isn't quite even. Because I got too close to her while we were doing laps around the track, and
she did that.
Oh,
no.
She's
the
dangerous.
punching
Speed
grandma.
walkers are dangerous.
Yeah.
I am well versed. I used to work in a mall, and that is
they would
their
come in
stomping
the
ground.
morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
They hunt.
Would you mind if I do a fillable though?
Do it.
Because I had an idea.
What's your idea?
The grandma. It's the stuff 'em up grandma, the one who just like constantly is giving you food,
Feed you
for no reason,
Yeah.
and always carries food around.
I love
Apron and
that.
oven mitts just ready to go.
Stuff 'em up
Just be
grandma.
like,
That's your
stuff 'em up
style.
grandma.
All right. Anita, is one calling to you?
I'm looking at all the cardigans, and that is calling my name.
Perfect.
It might say it's my calling cardigan.
We loved a
Ah!
cardigan. I just got a cardigan today. That was a belated Christmas present. That was a strawberry shortcake cardigan.
Oh, that's very you.
It's very me. All right. Faye, you got to pick one of those.
I
Hippy Dippy
think
or Speed
I
Walker?
think with the general vibe, Hippy Dippy fits a lot better.
Okay.
We're less corporate baddie old women, and are more like baddie with a T old women.
Love it.
Which I can vibe with.
Yeah. All right. So each of you are going to pick two cozy activities and no overlapping. So we'll go around, everybody will pick one, and then we'll go back around and pick a second. Faye, you picked last for style, so I'm going to have you pick first for your cozy.
Okay. What would a weird hippy dippy old woman want to do?
You could also add in another one. Hippy dippy, you could be like astrology or like
Ooh.
tarot cards or
Yeah, there's some kind of like overarching word for like medium stuff.
like new age.
Yeah,
New age.
New age, new agey.
Yeah.
In my old age, I've gotten quite new agey. Yeah. I'll do that.
Okay, cool. So that's your first one. Anita, you are next.
And this is our cozy activity.
Yes.
I'm liking collecting
Waxing. Do you have a particular thing you collect?
cats.
Yep.
As the two of them fight
Oh,
outside of
so
the room.
many cat cardigans.
So many cat cardigans.
Oh.
Do you
Love cat things.
make clothing out of your cat's
Oh God.
fur?
You know what? That's just terrifying enough to say yes to.
Embrace the Cthulhu. I make all of my clothes out of my cat's fur. Banzai, what is your cozy activity?
Baking. I chose
Yeah.
an easy one.
Yes.
I felt like coming anywhere near that would have been rude.
Oh no, it's okay. There's always cooking.
Yeah.
that's
You
true.
each get a second cozy activity. I'm gonna let Anita choose first for this one.
Okay. Let's go. Let's go with antiques and furniture.
Ooh. Ooh. Love it. All right. Let's have Faye, you pick next for your second cozy activity.
I think I'm between a couple. I need your guys' thoughts of what feels most like on brand here.
Okay.
I think like somewhere either between knitting, gardening, pottery.
Ooh. Gardening.
all
So
of
in
those-
case I feel like
Yeah.
gardening, just in case you have the special herbs you want to make.
Yep.
To
Yeah,
help
but I
out.
also kind of think, have that same vibe of like someone who's that hippy dippy head like definitely strikes me as like would have made pottery in like,
Mhm.
in the
Mhm.
shape of like their own body kind of a thing to be
Sure.
like this like so that I get those kinds of vibes too, which is why I'm like, I don't know. It
Well,
could
if we
be
go super hippy dippy, perhaps you garden a very particular herb.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll say gardening in general. I think that she probably has like a lot of like herb, but she's drying a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, so many things. She is just this is just me now, who I want to be in, which is an old woman in the woods that people are like, yeah, I think that
Is she
has
a witch
medicine
though? I don't
there, but
know.
yeah. I just know that she'll give me this thing and I'll take it and it'll work. So I don't really question it.
It's probably fine.
Yeah, that's a vibe.
Yeah. All right, Banzai, and your second cozy activity.
I'm gonna go with scrapbooking. I'm like the old school Instagrammer, but I
Love
have
that.
all the things that I cooked in my scrapbook.
That's right. So now you've got this game has 5 abilities. vitality, composure, reason, presence, and sensitivity. Vitality is all your physical stuff. Composure is like it's composure. It's how well you keep it's will, basically. It's that kind of like how well you can keep your calm. Reason is anything to do with your brain. Presence is your charisma, and then sensitivity is actually to the supernatural. So at the beginning of the game, you get to add 1 to a single ability. So it is listed, vitality and presence are listed as 0, composure and reason are listed as 1, and sensitivity is listed as -1. And that is what you would be adding to your roll to your check to see what you're going to be doing. So you can add 1 to any of those. You can boost a 0 to a 1 to a 2, or your -1 to a 0.
I feel like I probably need to not have a negative in sensitivity that feels like important
Okay.
for this woman.
Yeah.
So I'll bring that bad boy up to a 0.
Great.
I think I'm going to add 1 to presence, just because I feel like this character might be a little intense.
What? No.
Maybe just a touch.
Just the tiniest bit.
We'll up that to a 1.
Okay.
I think I'll go for vitality then.
Okay.
I got all the foods. I keep you hydrated and well
You're
fed. There
a
you
tough old broad.
go.
Yeah.
Take a punch.
Yeah.
Punch.
I mean, hopefully it doesn't come to that, but who knows?
Take a punch. I want to meet the grandma who's like, I can take a punch.
take a
Like,
punch.
okay, grandma.
Go. So there's only a couple more things that we need to pick to build your characters. One is your Maven move. And then you are going to tell me about your spouse who is now deceased. You're going to tell me what your previous job was, and you're also going to tell me if you have pets and or had children.
Did you say what our job was?
What your job was. You are all retired, which is why you have the time to be a part of this lovely book club, which is how you are all friends. We're affectionately known as the Murder Mavens because you read murder mysteries together. And you're good relationship with the police. You have helped solve mysteries. This town, for it being a sleepy New England town, just like riddled with murders. I don't know what happened here. Maybe y'all are doing it. I don't know.
So many moves to choose from. How can we choose?
Yeah, and we're not going to overlap. Everybody gets a Maven move. For those following along at home, the Maven moves are all named after like a whole bunch of either in literature or pop culture. They are named after detectives. So you got your like Columbo. You also got a B.A. Baracus, which is delightful. Remington Steele, Philip Marlowe, Sam Spade. We're even dipping into a little bit of the video game era. We got a Phoenix Wright in there. Encyclopedia Brown, Nancy Drew, Father Brown.
Wait, Nancy Drew's in here. I didn't see that. Oh my goodness.
She's in the alternate Maven moves.
Oh, incredible.
I think mine goes without saying. It's going to be Gordon Shumway.
Gordon Shumway, yeah. Gordon Shumway, you have a feline friend with whom you share a strong bond. This extraordinary kitty can do tricks and follow simple commands. Name your precocious puss and add them to your cozy little place. When you use the cat to get an advantage on a roll, you leave it unmarked. You have a little familiar. Try not to eat him, Gordon Shumway. That is a thing that Alf did more times than he should have. Who's next?
I would like to go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a Jane Marple.
Great.
So I got baked goods. Who's gonna stop me from doing baked goods?
Yeah, during the day, you can enter any place you wish and move about freely once you're inside, so long as you don't do anything actively hostile to any people who might be there. Love that. Faye?
I'm again having a difficult time making a decision.
I understand.
Shocker. Because there are probably four that I'm
Oh my
looking at.
goodness. Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah,
ready.
well, okay, so there's Frank Columbo.
Love Columbo.
Because I don't really think that the elite of society would take my character very seriously.
Yeah, that's fair.
Dale Cooper, just because it would be nice to have a higher sensitivity with kind of just who the character is. Sonny Crockett, they're all in a row. Whereas you have a very stylish wardrobe. People say, wow, whenever they see you around town. That feels also like a thing that would happen. And then there was, because I decided for my job that it has something to do with, like basically like the R. Quincy one. It's like you have a medical background and then you get to add a medical bag, and it would be, well, is it a medical bag? Well, but it's like that
Medical
kind
bag.
of a,
Yeah.
So that's sort of where I'm at with those things, and I don't really know.
I feel like Columbo or R. Quincy would make a lot of sense for you.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. I mean, I also, since I've never played this before, I don't know if there's like something that's like easier or better to do in like a small, shorter time frame.
So Columbo gives you an additional clue, even if you roll badly, and you need clues to solve the mystery. Like it is a functional.
What's a void clue? What does that mean?
That's like unraveling the greater mystery of.
Oh, okay, so that's a little more involved then. I understand.
Yeah,
I understand. Okay. Then I think I'll do Columbo then.
Okay.
But I'll still have a little quote unquote medical bag. It just won't have a mechanical part.
It just won't work. Yeah, no, I like that. That's good. Okay.
So the Frank Columbo move, did you want to read that?
Something about you causes the elite of society to not take you too seriously. What is it? Once per mystery, when you do the meddling move in a place occupied by the rich and famous, you find an additional clue, even on a miss. So when you're doing meddling is how you find clues. You all will be doing the meddling move quite a bit. On a success, you would find 2 clues, and on a miss, you would still find 1 clue, which is helpful. All right. So now we need your name, who you used to be married to, what you did for a living, and if you have pets or kids. So I'm going to say that in order to do that, I'll just go around the table and you can introduce your character, tell us like what she looks like. And I said the 3 of you are meeting up together before entering this next adventure. So let's say that you are meeting up probably, I'm going to say, for a little brekkie situation. So we're probably going to Banzai's house.
Yeah.
So Banzai, tell us about you before there's a knock on your door.
Oh, I am Rosemary. Mostly people just call me Rose. I was married to Jose, but unfortunately he passed away. It was a heart condition. It happens, sometimes. I have kids, but they're not living with me right now. They call me at least once a month, but they have their own lives and that's fine. But at least, God bless Jose's heart. When he passed away like 5 years ago, the kids, they band together a year later and got me this nice, sweet golden retriever who I call Barf.
Oh, how many kids did you have, Rose?
We planned for 2, but had 3. Surprise, baby!
Surprise!
As it goes.
And Barf the dog. And then what did you, I mean, you're retired now, but what did you used to do for a living? Did you have a job or were you just mom?
Oh no. I had a job. It was I was a CEO of of a
Oh,
card company actually.
wow. Very fancy.
Yes. I actually have displays of all the cards and stuff. I can get you a good deal on card stock if you need.
Like a greeting card company?
Oh, gaming card.
Gaming card company. Lovely.
We also dabbled in tarot decks as well, you know.
Of course, you have to.
Yeah.
And I know you're making something to eat. What is it that you're making for everybody for breakfast?
Dutch babies. Dutch
Oh,
oven babies.
yum. We love Dutch baby
Yes.
pancakes. I want all of them.
Fresh blueberries and stuff on the side with powdered
Oof.
sugar, just the right amount of lemon zest in there.
That sounds delicious. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bet that Anita's character is probably more punctual than Faye's character. So I think Anita shows up first. What is your character's name? Uh-oh. We're not hearing you.
Second. Now you can hear me.
Yeah.
My character's name is Violet Abernathy.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my wife Alice were not blessed with children, as of course we were, signs of the times. We had to. They called us roommates for years, but you know how it is.
Oh my God, they were roommates.
We did have, however, were however blessed with lots of fur babies that we did foster throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
Most notably is my favorite companion. His name is Eric Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there are the kittens, Tom and Liz Austin.
Of course.
Any Canadians watching will understand the reference.
And what was your job previously?
Oh, well, I worked here and there. I was mostly a secretary.
Sure.
And my dearly departed wife was a nurse.
Oh, lovely. And how long ago did you lose Alice?
Oh, lost Alice probably about 10 years back.
Okay. And so you arrive at your good friend Rose's house. I assume, did you bring Eric Wilson with you?
Oh, Eric Wilson. I didn't necessarily bring Eric Wilson with me so much as Eric Wilson follows me wherever I go. He's kind of an indoor-outdoor cat situation, and he just we like to go for walks around the neighborhood.
He just came with.
Yes, of course.
I understand.
I mean, you can't really tell a cat to do anything.
No.
Not to do something. They'll just do
It's
what
going to
they
do
want.
its own thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So you are there. You got yourself a heaping plate. And door knocks. It opens to show us Faye. Who do we see?
You see Beatrice, but she goes by Birdie.
Okay.
She always thought that Beatrice sounded too stuck up of a name for her.
Sure.
And always felt more connected to the birds and the creatures of the forest.
Fair.
She was married to a man named Amos, who was always people were always surprised to see the two of them together because he was actually pretty like externally straight and narrow looking, very, dressed very prim and proper. And she does not.
What?
Yeah, she has sort of like crazy, wild, like wavy hair that she has sort of like most of it up, and kind of like parts of it swept to the side, but it also kind of just goes out in a bunch of different directions, and she stopped trying to tame it a long time ago. And has a lot of jewelry, and lots of fabrics hanging off of her in
Yep.
all different directions. So the two of them were quite the pair. But it never, like, if you ever saw the two of them together, you saw why they were together. They just were very, very deeply in love, like two completely different people from opposite sides of life that found each other and were kindred spirits. And I think she talks about that a lot, that like their souls called to each other.
Aw, lovely.
Yeah, and I believe that he I don't know. It's really sad to talk about how they died.
Sure.
But I think he probably younger than he should have had some kind of like a stroke.
Mm.
And I do think it was pretty sudden. And I think pretty drastic for Birdie. Even though like probably most people don't know Birdie well enough to have
Mhm.
seen that. So they did have one kid. Um, and their kid's name is Autumn. Um, and she is probably taking more after her father than she does her mother.
Mm.
Sort of going out and is in I think about to graduate college. Getting some kind of like some business degree. But I think still lets her mom be like, she'll say, "Oh, I've had this cough this last week or whatever," and her mom sends her a care package of all this stuff, and she'll do it, and she'll be like, "Yeah, I mean, I don't really understand it, but it works."
So here's a question. Are you a younger widow?
I think that she is probably rocking a good like later 60s, maybe early 70s. So not like younger. Maybe her daughter, I guess, would be a little bit older than that if she's that old.
Well, I mean, perhaps your daughter is like graduating with a like
Like a
higher
higher level
education.
degree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it could be like
maybe
a
a PhD or another
yeah.
master's or
That makes
something.
sense. Yeah. It makes sense that she probably actually has gotten a number of degrees.
Yeah.
So probably yeah, that'll place her probably somewhere that makes sense in like her like 30s. Because I think also they probably would have had a kid late. I don't think that they would have had one like as
Mm,
young kids in love. I think that would
sure.
have been a much later like now's the time we could do it. And she was like 35 or 36 when all that started happening.
Sure.
So yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. And what was your job prior to
So
hanging out?
she worked in alternative medicine.
Yep. Yep.
She also was a yoga instructor.
Hmm.
So she looks pretty good. Like pretty like decently fit, although I would say like um probably now that she's getting into like her sort of sunset years is probably starting to look a little frailer.
Sure.
Um, but yeah, I think that was all of the questions.
Yeah, that was all of the questions. We've done it. So you all finish up breakfast and you head over because it is a very exciting day in town. Now, normally, this is the day when you would be meeting with your Murder Mavens book club, and it meets above the Candlelight bookshop. But there's a big television crew in town filming the Great Brindlewood Bay Bake Off. And the three of you have secured like contestant slots on this show. Because now, as you know, you have been helping out with the local constabulary. And I gotta tell you, people are a little upset about like this show coming into the town. The locals don't like it. And so they've sort of put some locals into it to make sure that, they think nobody's gonna like do anything if these sweet little old ladies are here who are very meddlesome and get into everything anyway. So like, it's gonna be fine. So you're in a big tent You walk into the big tent. Everybody loves this show, the Jolly Good baking show, obviously. And they have come here to find the town's very best baker. As you know, there are the three of you have watched the show multiple times. You know the formula. Like even though you're there just sort of to keep an eye on things, it's still very excited to be chosen. You're gonna be in a couple of rounds, and you get to meet the judges, Jane Leaf and Paul Riviera, and the hosts, Sue Mellon and Timothy Bosch. It's very exciting. It's down to this last round. It's like one of those specials, right? That they do, like a holiday special. It's just like one thing instead of a bunch of bakers. And there are two other contestants. There's Scott Lamb. He is not from Brindlewood Bay. He's an outsider. He is described as an organized twink with a fondness for bow ties.
Love it.
And then the other contestant, aside from the three of you, is Melanie Blair, who is incredibly frazzled, very intense, and sensibly dressed. And she lives in Brindlewood Bay, and her parents own the Sweet Sensations Bakery. So the first round, my dears, is the pie round. It is very important that I know what sort of pie the three of you are baking. You each have your own little station. You are required to do your own pie. I'm very interested to know what Rose is baking. What kind of pie are you making, Rose?
It's a combination of a creme brulee pecan pie with Jack Daniels in it for a little kick.
Ooh, very fancy.
Yeah, so you got to get the nice buttery crust, then you put the pecan in there, and then you cover it with a creme brulee topping, and then you flambe it.
Love that. Is that part of the presentation at the end? Like when they come over for judging, do you do it in front of them?
Yes.
Love it.
I got to go a little extra, because I'm the one who does a lot of the baked goods, and it can't just be, but sometimes classics are best, but I know that a lot of people just like nuts and fire. Fiery nuts.
Fire nuts. I think a lot of people don't like fire nuts for other reasons, but it's neither here nor there. Okay. Violet, what kind of pie are you making?
Oh, well, mine's just a very basic, it's an apple ginger pie. However, my secret is the pie crust. I use 7-Up instead of cold water.
Oh, fancy. Okay, and Birdie, what sort of pie are you making?
I think that she likes to call this her berry dream pie, or her berry good dream pie.
Mm-hmm.
And hers is more, I think, about the presentation of the pie. The pie itself, I think it's a pretty like standard mixed berry pie, but she does a lot of like little like cutouts of things, and then mixes in something you don't really know what it is in there that she's like, oh, this is like she's like, oh, this will, like, anyone who has a bite of this pie will have very good sweet dreams tonight, and will also be sort of protected by the more malevolent energies that may be lingering. So that's more of what she's doing. There's like some weird, she's like dancing occasionally. She definitely is probably gonna run out of time. But yeah, she's
just like wearing bells and just like
she's very jingly. There's so many bracelets.
I feel like Timothy Bosch loves you. I think he's way into what you're doing. You hear Sue Mellon say, "Bakers, let us be a warning to you. Only 5 minutes remaining in the pie round." And then there is a loud, like almost like a wail when you look over, and Melanie is having like a breakdown in front of her oven, just like freaking out. And Sue and Timothy both rush over to comfort her, and we see the cameraman sort of steer across everybody, and it lands on Scott, and Scott says, "Well, that's a lot of emotion for a pie." And we're gonna see how well it's judging time. The two step up first. First, we're gonna step up to Rose. Jane, sweetly judgmental, elderly, very posh. Just a beloved figure in the UK. And she steps up. She looks at you doing the very fancy flambe, as well as our friend Paul Rivera, who has a very like sort of icy blue eyes and is a kind of reputation for having kind of being maybe a little bit of a jerk, maybe just a little bit of one,
a little bit,
the tiniest bit. And because you have the cozy activity baking, you don't have to roll for this. Your pie is a triumph. They love it. Just the right amount of alcohol for Jane. Ooh, it's good. It's real good. In fact, you receive the patented Paul Riviera shoulder rub.
He stared in my eyes uncomfortably for 1 minute as I panicked, of course. And
yeah. But he comes around, rubs your shoulders a little bit. Just
what a weird move.
Delightful. It's so lovely. They loved it. They gushed about it. Now they're gonna go on. They're gonna come over to Birdie next. And I would like you to give me. I think you are very analytical with your baking. I'm gonna have this be a reason roll.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll.
Sure, yeah. I rolled 2 3s. I don't know what this means.
Yeah, not great.
Do I add anything?
Well,
because like reason I have a 1 in there. Do I add that?
Yeah, you would add it.
So 7 total.
7 total. Ooh, it's Jane says, "Don't fret, dear. Your pie has a perfectly adequate taste. It just looks a bit informal. It's maybe not. Looks like perhaps you ran out of time."
I think that at hearing that it's informal, she actually probably is like, "Nice, what a compliment."
Oh my God, thank you so much.
She's like, "Thank you."
Okay. Okay, so maybe not hitting it out of the park, but that's okay.
It's fine. It is very like Rose is the person who bakes, and
obviously
pies are if Birdie was gonna make something, pie would not be it.
That's fair. All right. Violet, what about your pie? Let's have you roll. Also for reason.
Oh, of course. I would love to. Reason, you say?
Yes, please.
Would I be able to use Gordon Shumway to give me advantage on this roll?
Oh, tell me how you would do that.
Well, of course, he's an excellent kneader. He's helping me.
Oh, is he? He was helping.
Yes. It's completely unsanitary.
Well, then I'm gonna. If you use him, it's gonna be at a disadvantage.
Disadvantage. Okay.
It's up to you.
What's funnier to me?
Do it. You know the right answer.
I'm rolling with disadvantage.
You roll it. Take the lower 2.
That's a 4.
Mm-hmm. Total that you added your 1 for reason.
Yep. That
Yeah.
was a 1, a 2, and a +1.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They as they're eating it, Gordon jumps up onto the counter, and then Paul pulls out like a little some cat hair. It was like, oh, what? Ugh. And then they kind of walk
Oh.
away, and Timothy Bosch floats over, and he says, I mean, I liked it. And then he like scoops up a bunch with his hand.
Thank you. Eric Wilson worked very hard on it.
And then just just like eats it and leaves. Very weird. Judging continues.
Too weird.
We've gone on to break. Jane and Paul go off to their own trailers. And very soon the judges, Jane floats back, and the producer is there, and he's rallying everybody. Contestants are in here. Melanie's still like just wildly upset, just like can't keep it together, just freaking out. And Paul hasn't come back yet, and everything is all set up. And so the producer, whose name is, I know his name, Keith Hendricks. He's starting to get a little agitated, and he sends a PA to go get Paul. And you hear just a scream. What would you like to do?
Good. I'm mosey towards ooh, curious what's going on.
Absolutely.
The three of us all like converge, and we're like,
Yeah, we converge.
we're all like, what was that?
What was that?
Are you the 3 of you heading after the scream?
I actually want to look at everyone here,
Mm.
and I want to know what their reactions to the scream are.
Well, the cameraman looks a little startled, and then tries to pan around to find where it is. That seems like it would be good television, so he does that. You see a bottle blonde in leopard print. You all remember that this is Paul's wife. She looks unbothered. She is tapping away on her phone. Jane looks put upon. She's used to antics, so she's fine, whatever. Timothy does a cartwheel for some reason and then runs out after the scream. Sue looks bored. She hasn't gotten up. She's still on her mark because she's a consummate professional. Melanie still freaking out. Scott is just looking around, sort of waiting at his station, looks a little superior.
Mm. Okay.
I'm gonna walk over and try and figure out what's going on. Like just sort of inserting myself into the middle of this fracas.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the fracas.
It was yes. It was the PA who was screaming, and she comes rushing back in, looking just incredibly pale, and almost like she's hyperventilating. She's trying to say something, and she's had to
Hands on the shoulder. It's okay, dear. Just look into my eyes and just
Okay.
Take a deep breath and tell me what's wrong.
There's a knife in Paul. Paul's dead. Paul's stabbed. I think he's dead. I didn't touch him. And I didn't do it. And I
Oh.
didn't. I probably should tell the producer or someone else who maybe.
Have a seat.
Okay. Do you think I should turn off the radio? I don't. Oh. She's got a little headset.
Are you broadcasting right now?
Let's find out. She looks down and she's like,
Are you? Is this a hot mic situation?
I meant to turn that off. So
There's just like a minute recorded of her like throwing up before she actually got here.
Yeah. Or it's happening now. She just like, oh, blah, just like vomits
Oh no.
out of frame.
Oh, okay. Well, regardless on if they didn't know you were on a hot mic, so they do know now.
I'm sorry.
Don't need to apologize to me. I'm just a contestant here.
Also, you are mic'd too, so like
Oh,
I
that's fair.
shouldn't have said that. I should probably have
Oh.
waited anyway. And then she just kind of like crumbles a little bit and just like stares off. You think she
Just gonna-
probably has never seen a dead person before, so she's
I'm
just
just
like
gonna go to the kitchen and get her a glass of water.
she holds it.
Hydrate.
Drinks a little bit.
Okay. Let's
There's a flurry of activity.
let's start by just stay there for a second. I'm gonna go
Okay.
over to Rose and Birdie. So Paul's dead.
I'm immediately gonna turn off my microphone.
I think I've already
yes.
given it-
I think
How
I
do
think
I do this
also
again?
that I think like
I just-
Birdie would help you. She is constantly under fear of being like wiretapped. So she's like very conscious that she is mic'd at all points in
She's
time.
like doesn't own a phone. Like
Mhm. Yeah, she communicates through bird. I didn't mention that there are like pets, but she doesn't say like she owns animals as
No.
much as like they just cohabitate space together. So
Obviously.
like there are she feeds a lot of deer. She has a lot of crows that will follow her around sometimes, which is
Mhm.
weird, and she'll send letters that way.
Mhm.
I'll just pull them. I don't know
Yeah.
how to do it.
yeah, okay, yeah.
I'm just gonna send Eric Wilson over to the PA to calm her down, like sit on her lap
Mm.
and do like a little biscuits.
Pops up, purrs.
Has
Sorry.
She
anybody
looks
I
slightly less
interrupted you.
crazed.
called the cops yet?
Well, the scream just happened, Rose, so I don't imagine that. Who would have done this? Who would have called the police? No,
Get out
hold
my
on, hold on,
phone.
hold on. No, she's like, no, don't do that. She like pushes your phone away. We should try and figure out why everyone's. I don't know. I've no one seemed particularly bothered by someone being all confused and befuddled. I think we should poke around a little bit. Maybe tell a producer they can handle the police, and we can sort of handle other things until they get here.
After they announced again, after, of course, Birdie just said that, can we look around to see who is reacting now to Paul's death?
Honestly, not a lot has changed. Heath
Oh.
is on the phone, freaking out. But you can't hear what he's saying, but he is pacing and gesticulating wildly on the phone. Scott still just sitting, looking. Melanie still freaking out. Timothy and Sue are sort of making the rounds for comfort which is a thing that they do during filming. So that's a thing that is normal for them. That would be sort of like, they're maybe handing out cups of tea to everybody. Donna doesn't show any indication of having heard. And
Is
Buck,
Donna the blonde?
yeah, Donna's the blonde, Paul's wife. And then Buck is still like, Heath didn't say cut, so he's still filming. He's like, I still have to do my job. I don't know what this means. And Jane does go back to her trailer. She's very British. It was hard to tell if she was affected emotionally, but she removed herself from the production tent and has gone back to her trailer.
I'll point at Melanie and just say, who wants to handle that?
I'll get a slice of my pecan pie and just kind of scoot over with maybe a little extra Jack Daniels in pocket. Be like, could I go ahead and tap on?
Uh-huh. Hello.
Hello, are you okay, dear?
No, not okay. It was a really bad first round, and I was really worried about first round. I mean, my parents are bakers, right? Like I should really be killing this, and I did something really like couldn't make a pie. I mean, my oven wasn't even on. I don't remember turning it off, but it wasn't on. And now murder. I don't want to be by murder.
Here, take a breath. Would you like some what is it called? Endurance?
Oh,
Like with the little shot of
sure. I could,
little
do that.
Little nip always helps me when I'm baking too.
Oh, okay. So she takes a slug of it and she like, whew.
It's good. It clears up the system, right? Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You know what's the cool thing about baking is that it's okay if sometimes it doesn't work out. Because it's just, you can always remake it.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'm sure even just getting on this show, your parents are very proud of you. We know that there was good advertisement.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's been like buying your bake. And I saw there's a very nice sale you're going on and doing for the company. And so I'm sure your parents are very proud of you. And you know what I watched while you're cooking? I noticed that you did an excellent fold of your pie crust.
Oh.
And if the oven was on, it would have given me a run for my money too.
Oh, thank you. I think let's do a metal roll here to see if you are able to find a clue.
Okay. That's just 2d6s.
Yes, 2d6s, and then I think probably presence because of how you are doing this.
Okay, so it's a 5 total.
5 total. Yeah, having a rough time of it. She just like, I think she kind of has shut down. You feel like she looks like she was about to say something, and then she like shakes her head, and Timothy Bosch comes over and hands her a cup of tea, and she kind of like settles into, just like sits on the ground in front of the oven and like stares into it and just has a couple of sips.
Oh, all right. Well, if anything comes to your mind, dear, sometimes it just takes a bit. I'll let it cook.
Thank you.
And then I'll scuttle my way back to Birdie and Violet. I mean, she didn't quite say. I think she's still holding back. I gave her a little bit of like truth serum, but it hasn't quite settled in yet.
Did she say what happened to her pie?
Oh, she forgot the Dairy Me. She's just so nervous about making her parents proud and everything. I think it's just, she has so much on her plate. She forgot to turn on the oven.
Oh, that happens to me all the time.
Mm-hmm,
I forget to turn it off a lot of the time.
That too.
Oh. Well, it's a good thing we have good fire detectors and stuff like that.
Got great
It happens.
insurance. I would like to go over and talk to Donna.
The wife, Donna.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do we have any reason to like have known her name other than like her being I guess a celebrity wife?
Yeah, so bottle blonde, leopard print, piles of makeup. Like her
Mhm.
husband, Donna Rivera is a celebrity, having starred in the short-lived reality television program, The Real Housewives of Liverpool.
Mm,
Mm.
okay. I think that Birdie would walk up immediately first thing, compliment her pants.
Oh, thank you so much. Aren't they nice?
They are. I would love to know where you got them. I'm sure someplace very fancy.
Oh, yeah. People are always sending me stuff, because they want me to like wear it when I'm out with Paul, And so they're always sending me stuff. I don't even know where these came from, but I did, I squeezed into them. I think they make my tush look real nice. So
Your tush does look real nice.
thank
should
you
be
so
very
much.
proud.
You know
Yes,
what? It's really sweet of you, but I don't swing that way actually.
no,
So,
it's that's not why I came over here, but I appreciate you. That was very kind of a rejection. I appreciate that.
yeah. Well, I mean, you look like a nice lady. I don't want to like hurt your feelings or whatever.
Yeah. Trust me, that's a lot harder than you might think. I was just I noticed that you seem like you're doing something very important. I didn't know if you had heard what exactly was going on.
Oh, we're filming a television show. It's
No,
it's
I
called the
meant about
Jolly Good something bacon show. I don't know.
Yes, no, I know that. I as much as I do sometimes forget where I am. I am present of that information. I actually didn't know if you had heard about your husband.
Oh yeah, Paul. He is one of the judges on this
He has
show.
also, I hate to be the person to break this to you, most everyone else heard. He has been, I believe, attacked and is some kind of not alive in his trailer currently.
Oh, no, listen, people have been saying that about his career, but that's not true. He's doing great.
No. I agree, flourishing career. Yes. I believe of him as in his physical body. Spiritually, he might still be present around hanging here with us. But in the physical realm, I believe he has passed on from that. The PA found him with a knife in his back. Right. Just now.
She puts on quite a show of being very upset.
I think that there's a bit of like a yes. I'm so sorry. Yes.
Give me a metal roll.
Okay.
To see if you're able to get any kind of clues from
Okay.
this situation.
All righty. With what ability am I using?
Either reason or presence, depending on how you are going about it. Like,
I would say reason. I don't really think that I think that she only had a business because people are like, well, at least she gets stuff done, kind of a thing.
Yep, that's fair.
She's either your cup of tea or super not your cup of tea.
Yep.
So that is an 8.
8 is a sort of a complication.
Would you consider her to be the elite of society?
I believe that she believes she is the elite of society. Sure. Yeah.
I would say the entire conversation was her not taking me too seriously. So
yeah.
And I am in a place occupied by the rich and also famous.
It's true. Yep. Yep. So you would get 2 clues out of this, but there is a complication still because of how
Okay.
it works out.
Cool.
The first clue is that you, in her like histrionic flailing, you see her phone, and there is a very lovey-dovey message, and the person at the top, I wouldn't say lovey-dovey. It's pretty explicit. But it is the person's name at the top is Buck, who you know is the cameraman. That is the first clue that you have gotten off of her. And then she sort of like notices you looking at the phone and redirects it so it's against her so that you can't see anything. But she drops her purse in the process. And a big stack of papers fall out of it. And she like bends down to pick them up. And the complication is that she's noticing you looking at them. And she's putting them together. She's trying very hard to hide the fact that there are 2 plane tickets in her bag. And neither of them say Paul.
Okay.
But she is now definitely not going to talk to you anymore.
Sure, that is
the complication is that she's like, nope. Yeah,
I think that Birdie would be like, you seem to be going through something, I'm going to go. And then just kind of like wander away. And grab whichever of the 2 other biddies are like not currently preoccupied and be like, oh my God.
Here is the tea. Well, I guess that depends on who is doing something now.
I would like to go and see Paul's body and see if I can try and suss out any clues from there.
Okay, so then Birdie, you are chatting with Rose about it. And in the hubbub of all of the dropping of the papers and everything, Violet uses that opportunity to like slip out of the tent and go head to Paul's trailer. There's nobody in there right now. There's a bunch of people like milling around. No police have arrived yet, but you've seen plenty of people on their phones. So unclear on if they have been called and just haven't gotten here yet or what. But you are able to slip inside fairly easily, and you can do a metal, and I'm going to give you advantage on it because you don't have any. There's been a distraction, essentially.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Birdie, the consummate distraction.
Good job. Good job. Yes.
So yeah, I'm gonna look around. I think this might be reason.
Feels like reason, yeah.
Yeah. And I get an advantage. Does that just mean I get an extra die and I take the higher?
Correct.
Okay.
So you roll 3 and then you take the 2 highest.
Ooh, that is nice. That is a 10.
10. That is a hit.
Wait, sorry, that's 11.
11.
Because it's 5 plus 5 plus 1.
Wonderful. Oh no, you dropped that lowest one. Oh, the one is the reason.
The lowest one is a 4.
Got it. So that third number was from your reason.
Yes, plus my reason, which was 1.
Okay, so you were definitely able to find a clue. So he does have a knife in him, but like his hand is off to the side, and it is sticking into a cake, and written across the top of the cake is, "You won't get away with this," in like really beautiful scripty icing.
I'm just gonna like take a little bit of the.
The icing? It's raspberry. Well, delicious.
Raspberry. With some cardamom?
Mm.
That's delicious.
Just gonna keep eating this murder cake a little.
Oh no, I'm just doing like the quick,
Just a little.
the finger dip.
Yep.
I'm not
She's like,
interfering
just to
completely with the
double
crime
check.
scene.
Also good.
I sort of like pull out a cell phone
Mm-hmm.
and I like
Mm-hmm.
finger tap to what I think is the camera app,
Mm-hmm. Good.
and then let me just
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I end up just taking a picture of like from my nose up.
Yeah. Great.
It turned to selfie mode. I don't know how it did that.
I
I'm just
can't
gonna-
change it.
Oh, it's on selfie mode, so I don't know how to turn it around. We'll just turn it this way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's mostly fingers.
Yeah.
It's a little bit. It's a little bit of it.
So I'll just take some very poorly framed photos of the crime scene,
Mm-hmm. Good.
and
Mm.
then I'm going to head on out from here.
Okay. Get back in to the tent. And Keith steps to the middle and says, "Yes, listen, this is all very tragic, but I was told that we can't shut down. We need to finish the episode. So,
Do you not realize that you don't have a second judge?
I mean, we can do. Jane will just have to do it on her own for this one. It's fine.
Do you want another baker from in town? We are very well connected. We could find someone who could maybe step in.
No, I
as
don't
like a guest.
trust a local.
Judge.
Listen, we'll just it'll be fine. I'm going to give everybody a 45-minute break, and then we'll have figured it out by then, and then we'll start the cake round. So that's fine. And he hustles himself off.
Oh, I guess the show must go on.
Don't trust the locals.
And to be honest, I think someone started the cake round a little bit early, and I turned my phone.
What is
Violet,
that?
this
Wait,
is your nose.
Sorry, that's a picture of Eric Wilson.
You should really clean it. Wow.
That's another picture of Eric Wilson.
It's a very good picture. I like the bow tie in that one.
There's a lot of pictures. Oh, here we go.
What are we looking at? It's a little blurry.
There was a cake in.
Grab out like reading. Actually, they're not in a pocket. They're dangling on.
Yeah, of
just like
course.
pull them
Of
up.
course.
I like how we all just like hover around the phone like this.
Like this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh! What is
That-
that? What? It's like
There's a
chiffon?
cake. Raspberry.
Oh,
With cardamom?
cardamom. Oh, that's interesting. Wait, how did you know?
I mean, I tasted it.
Oh, that's good. That's a good idea. That's always good. Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
then wait, you can also narrow down the ingredients to who had access. But I mean, if everyone probably would have had access.
Actually, do I know anybody who has a specialty with that like particular red icing with cardamom, raspberry icing?
Give me a reason roll. And I'm going to let you roll with advantage because you have baking.
Oh, nice. That is going to be a 10.
Yeah. So that is a recipe from Jane's cookbook for a filling in a cake generally. But it is one of her most famous. And so it is often used by people on the show and not just her. So like, Jane knows how to make it, but like if anybody's trying to
Everybody.
suck up to the judges, they might have also known how to make it. It's in her
I-
most famous cookbook. Yeah.
Actually, with that knowledge, then I would know how much time frame that particular is good for, though, right? Like
Oh,
how
yeah.
long?
I would say yes. I think you know that doesn't take a super long time to make, but because it is mostly berries, that it starts to kind of separate after. If it's been sitting for a couple of hours, you can tell.
Mm.
And it was
Right.
not separated at all. Like it's
Mm.
so it must be pretty
But
fresh.
But
I
it
share
said-
the knowledge. Be like,
It said, "You will not get away with this." It was very nice handwriting too. Very nice cursive. Good skills with the piping bag. I think you would appreciate it.
yes, it's very nice piping, but that means that, I mean, trying to think in time frame wise of us baking, that will rule out a couple of people.
I mean,
Or actually,
I had my pie in the oven. You had your pie in the oven. You had
Is it possible that they made the cake and then iced it later and had that kept in a fridge or something and then did it during the break and dropped it off?
hmm. I mean, but the icing is very in particular. You don't want it to be separated at all, the berries. Actually, hold on. Other than Birdie, I know you didn't do any of this because, it's
Please, I wouldn't be so obvious.
yeah. But
I mean,
who else had who else
With
had
murder? Come on.
berries? Who else had berries?
well, Melanie had berries in her pie, and so did Scott.
Ah.
And okay.
Hmm.
Um. Oh, this is about the solution. I'm sorry. I'm looking at our moves because I'm like,
Oh,
there's
for
a theorize.
theorize?
That,
Yeah.
yeah. But that's like about the solution to a mystery. Um. So that's a different thing. Um. I would like to take a moment
Hmm.
since we have 45 minutes.
Yep.
And I would like to go through a round of a number of different divination tools. So I sort of like wandered to like wherever we kind of like put our stuff down. And I would grab this like big like patchwork bag. And
Yep.
bring it over probably to like the side of the tent because I still want to be able to like see everyone.
Hmm.
And like, maybe be where my little station is so I could use that if I need to. But I want to do a tarot reading. I
Mhm.
want to take out some crystals and just like have a general like get a vibe, like see, like read the energies that are coming off of everyone,
Sure.
and see where that kind of flows and all of those kinds of things. Maybe grind something up and either like spray that into the wind or like take a shot of something or something like that.
Sure.
That's
Ooh, shot here. I got the Jack Daniels. I actually got multiple spirits here.
there are many spirits here.
All right. So I think that is a sensitivity.
Okay.
And I think because you're using your new agey stuff, I think you can roll with advantage.
Cool. All right. Whoa, that one went off the desk.
Whoa.
Okay. So that is, I don't have a negative, right? So
No, well, you raised it to a 0, so it's
yes,
just
so I don't add anything. So it's a 9.
a 9. Complication. You're able to it's not really gathering a clue per se because of how it is, but because of what we're doing here. You're not really meddling. You're more just like doing a day move because it's middle of the day.
Sure.
But this, you're getting a very strong sense that Scott has a secret.
Okay.
You're obviously not able to figure out what that is. And then the complication is that you glance up and he is just staring at you.
Good. Yes, good.
Yeah.
She definitely does. She definitely does like readings, like tarot, like pulls for like everyone, just like little single card pulls, and she pulls the moon for him, and is like, there's something, there's something weird here. And and so, um, she sees him making eye contact with her or glaring at her or whatever, and starts putting her things away, save for the tarot deck. I think she will keep that out. And she lets the ladies know what the situation is and wanders on over there. And is shuffling the cards and says to Scott, "Oh, I couldn't help noticing you staring. Did you want a reading?"
Oh, I don't believe in any of that garbage. It was very cute.
You don't have to believe in it for it to work, but that's fine. And I kind of put the cards away. So if not the cards, then what?
Oh, just. I mean, I suppose you want an autograph. Is that why you're coming over here? I mean, that's what everyone does when they.
I'm sorry, who are you?
I mean, you obviously recognize me from being on the show before. Like, it's
Do I remember him from being on the show before? I feel like I am maybe keyed into like what exactly is happening when we all watch like 50% of the time.
give me let's do just an even odds roll just to see if you
Okay.
odds I think you don't and evens you do.
Oh, okay. I rolled a 4.
Yeah. Weirdly, this one stuck with you. Yeah, you do
I
remember
didn't like his
him.
aura. I was like,
It's because he was in a couple of years ago.
Mm.
He had like a huge on-camera argument with Paul about his muffins being overbaked. And you remember it was like a big deal and weird that they would have invited him back.
Okay. I think. Oh. I think she would still go with the. I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't know who you're. I don't know who this is. Sorry, I'm not always I don't pay the most attention when I watch. It's more of my friend Rose's show, and I'm like, "Hi, Rose," and I kind of wave. But if you'd like to do that, if that would be important to you, sure. You can, yeah, and she'll like she'll like grab a napkin and be like, "Here."
An autograph. Go ahead and roll me a medal.
Okay. Oh, not good. What am I using for this?
Well, I think in this instance you're using presents.
Yeah, that's a 5.
Yeah, he signs it.
Cool.
It's a very stylized signature. You can tell it has been practiced a lot.
Mm-hmm. I think that I don't know if I could pull it off, but like if I could have been like a uh if I could have pulled off trying to get him to write some of the same letters as the message on the cake, of being like like to Birdie or something, or like your number one muffin maker or something like that. I don't fucking know. But
There it was. You dropped it.
I'm so sorry.
Got it.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
That's the one.
That's the one. We did it. With a 5, absolutely not.
Yeah.
It's just his name.
He just writes Scott. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. What's his last name? Does he
Scott
put that on there?
Lamb is his name.
All right.
And he does sign his full name, but again, it looks like something that's been very practiced. It ends up looking like it's like
it's like in its own shape.
Like like very I think I'm a celebrity kind of thing.
I think that she is like doesn't even the thought doesn't even occur to her to ask even. Like that's a me thing. I think that she doesn't even think about that. She's
Mhm.
more of like I could probably do something with this and
Just
and
stuffed it in her
that's
pocket.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I think this is actually a great place for us to do our IRL bio break. You have gathered a couple of clues, and then when we get back, you can hopefully attempt to put them together and or continue gathering, and we'll see who killed Paul. For those of you at home, maybe go get yourself a baked good, slice of pie, a piece of murder cake, maybe. Get yourself a cup of tea,
Apparently
and
tastes
then
pretty good.
Raspberry, delicious. And then we'll see you back here in a few minutes. Bye. Welcome back from the break. Ba-ba-ba. Hello, everyone. When we last left our heroes, if we can call this meddling group of old women heroes, I can't decide.
I think it depends on which one you're talking about.
Yeah, that's fair. Had gathered a couple of clues. Official clues were the text message that you saw on Donna's phone, the pair of plane tickets, neither which were for Paul, and the cake that had the message written on it that was in Paul's trailer. So who are we talking to now?
Violet, do you want to go ahead and I didn't have such a good reassuring hand with I point to who was the one that cried again?
Melanie.
Melanie? Yeah. Melanie. Maybe because I'm also a baker, maybe she was a little intimidated by me. I feel like you have a softer like personality, and with your wife's training, you would also know how to she kind of shut down with me. Maybe if we go in together, you could help ease in.
I can go have a conversation with her. People usually open up to me, especially because of Eric Wilson.
He's a good cat.
He's a very good cat. Come along, Eric Wilson.
Meow.
I did that mostly because I wanted Sarah to meow.
I'm with you. I wanted you to know I'm following this story with you. I've got it.
I love this.
Beep, beep. He has a very swishy walk when he walks.
Oh, that's a good cat with
Very
swishy walk.
swishy.
We love a swishy walk.
Sort
In
of
the
like
tail.
when he walks, it's almost like his front paw is always in line.
Mm-hmm.
So his, he kind of beep, beep, beep. His tail goes along. And you head over to Melanie. She is still sitting on the ground, holding a half-drunk cup of tea. It's cold now. She's just kind of staring into the oven. Give me a real quick composure check.
Sure, I'd love to.
Would you want both of us since we're both going over there, or is it just
Whoever's going over?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh, dang. I dropped the die.
Ooh, I got a total of 6.
Okay.
I got a 9.
Okay. So Rose, so you guys both kind of glance at the oven that she's staring into. It doesn't really look like the inside of an oven. It looks like an endless blackness. And Violet, you're able to like kind of shake it a little bit, and then when you look back at Melanie, and when you look back at the oven, it's just the inside of an oven again. But Rose, you're having kind of a hard time like tearing yourself away from it, and you like sit down kind of like Melanie is, and you're just kind of staring into it.
Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I do. I just scoot on. I'd be like, oh, hello.
Well, that's terrifying. Melanie, sweetheart?
She kind of, when you say her name, she kind of like blinks and shakes her head a little bit, and then she looks over at you and she's like, "Oh, Violet, hi."
Are you quite all right, dear?
Oh, I mean, I'm still pretty mad at myself, like.
Did you said you forgot to turn the oven on?
I sworn I had turned the oven on. I swore I did, but I must not have.
Just real quickly, gonna turn it on.
Oven. Yeah. When you reach forward to like check the dial, it kind of breaks your gaze, Rose, and when you look in there, it's just an oven again.
Oh, uh, oh, I must be having hot flashes again. I just need a little water. Uh,
Is this a gas induction range? What are we talking here?
Yeah,
It's gas.
The pilot light's on.
Yep. It's turns right on when you turn everything. It's doing what it's supposed to do.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
checking. Yeah. Check there. Do I smell burnt toast?
No, you're good.
Okay.
But you do notice that there is heat coming from the oven. So like it definitely was on at some point.
Oh, well, it was on at one point. You don't think that someone might have tampered with it, do you? What was your planned pie, by the way? I forgot to ask.
Oh, it was going to be strawberry rhubarb. So, it's one of my parents' favorites, and they taught me how to make it when I was really little. So it was like the very first one I ever did, and I was just going to do it for them because I thought it would really
Oh no,
help.
it's okay. I'll give a hug. And I think Eric Wilson comes up and like
give me
starts making biscuits in the.
just she moves so that he can come up into her lap. Give me because you're using your friend. Go ahead and do presence metal with advantage.
Sounds good. Okay, so that is 12 total.
Ooh,
It's a 6, a 5.
I
and
mean,
a
real
+1.
good. Okay, so she puts her hand down and starts petting Eric Wilson, and she says, I just thought, like, if I could make that one, which is like the specialty pie, that like maybe the shop wouldn't close anymore. Like maybe the shop would be okay, even though Paul had brought that extra new bakery into town. And so I was just hoping that like maybe if I won with this pie, then like it could be like special. And then
What? Your parents own a shop, or do you own a shop?
yeah, the Sweet Sensations Bakery, the bakery
Oh,
that's
yes,
in
I love
town
that
all the
shop.
time. Yeah, well, it's Paul opened a shop here in advance of the show coming, and like people stopped coming at the Sweet Sensations, and now we don't have any
Oh,
money.
I always go to Sweet Sensations. I love your sausage rolls.
It's really sweet of you, but like most people don't come anymore.
You have to shop local when you can. That's just silly. Just because something's new doesn't mean it's better.
Yeah. So you also find, because you rolled so very well, so you got the clue. That clue was that the shop's about to go under.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also find a void clue, which is something about the greater dark conspiracy, something that's going on in this town. And there is, when you look in the oven, in the back of the oven, there's like a weird symbol like burned into the back of this oven.
Oh.
And like when you look at it for too long, it kind of makes your eyes start to go a little weird, which might just be because your eyes are not great anymore. But
I really need to switch to bifocals.
I tap Violet, make sure. Do you see anything in there, Violet? Like
There's a symbol.
nothingness and voids.
Oh, I saw that for about half a second, but I figured it was just a trick of the light. But there is a symbol burned into the back of the oven. Maybe Birdie would know something about it.
I'll go ahead and you go ahead and keep calming her down. Oh, you're doing such a good job, thank you, Violet. And I'll mosey on and go to Birdie. I don't know why we're whispering, but
I don't understand. I say in a normal volume. I am not whispering. I'm like, I don't understand it either, dear.
I think you need to, because with your speciality, I think you need to look at something. We found something odd about that oven.
About Melanie's oven. Oh
Yes.
my gosh. The dogs are also upset about the oven.
I understand. I mean, I would also be
Yeah.
very upset about the oven if I were a dog.
I'm so sorry. They're like, ah.
You're fine.
You're good. You're good. You're good. I understand the dog. It's
Get it.
get it. Well, I'm gonna go
I
ahead
think we
and
just got a delivery of dog food, I think is what just happened.
makes sense.
Yes. Okay. So sorry.
It's okay.
What were we doing?
Oh, I'm leading you to the oven to look at her oven, and also I'm also keeping you up, like just from what I heard to say. I'll whisper to you. Oh, also, Paul's putting her family business. I didn't even know that the family business was going down because the new bakery.
Oh, I noticed that I don't buy anything from either of the bakeries. I get everything from you, dear.
I mean, you should support locals too. I mean,
I'm not really that's fine. I also like to think that canonically there were some dogs that just ran by,
Absolutely.
and Bertie was like,
Oh, dog.
what were we talking about?" That was canon.
Totally what happened.
Yeah, I'll go take a look at the weird symbol in the oven that previously contained an abyss.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume that that's sensitivity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do I get advantage because I'm new agey?
Mm-hmm. I believe
Cool.
so.
Cool. All right. Well, it started unless I roll lower, starting out as a 10. Oh, no, that's a 12.
12. Okay. So when you take a look, you actually even open the oven. Nobody has been touching it, and you're like, whatever. And you open the oven, and you like kind of lean in a little bit so that you can see clearly this weird like twisty symbol that is in the back of it. And you, for just a moment, feel like you have fallen all the way in, and you are like surrounded by nothing. And you hear like heavy breathing. And then one of your friends taps you on the shoulder, and you're back sitting on the floor. I think it was probably Rose who was next to you, just like hey,
Birdie. What did you think of the symbol? What does it mean?
Oh, do I get anything from the symbol or?
It feels.
I mean, it feels not great. It feels pretty
portally,
sinister.
maybe.
Yeah.
Unclear, but like
it's not. But I don't like recognize it. It's not something that I've like.
It's not one you've seen before, for sure. But like the feeling of it is a feeling that you have had throughout this town.
I'm sorry.
Every so often.
I told you guys that I was playing a playlist.
Yeah.
And literally, right as you were like a portal to another thing, the X-Files theme came on.
Yeah.
And it was like pum 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 pum, and I was like, oh,
uh-oh.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So I look at Rose, and I take something out of my bag and I light it and just kind of am like yeah, I'm like
smudge that baby.
and then just kind of and then and I'll put it out and I'm like that did not seem positive. It seemed like it was drawing me in, possibly trying to transport me someplace else. I've never seen something quite like this, but I don't think it is something that is friendly.
Oh,
You probably don't look at it, dear. And I'm kind of like, I'm like moving Rose and kind of anyone else away to just be like, I'm just gonna shut the oven, turn off the oven light.
Take out the baked good,
Yeah.
Melanie with Eric Wilson off to the side.
just move everybody.
Actually, out of curiosity, since you said that, can I try the baked good that just came out of that oven?
Melanie's baked good?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, they never she said, the oven was off, so they didn't even taste it. Yeah, this I think is also a medal because that is what you are doing right now. So give me a medal roll. And I'm gonna say that this is vitality.
Oh, yeah, I invested
Yeah,
for
baby.
a reason. I was like, might as well just try it. It's
Give it a
there.
go.
Why not try weird void pie? What could go wrong? Do you have advantage because it's a baked good? And you
Do
like
I have
baking?
advantage?
Yes, because it is a
Okay.
baked good. Yes.
Nice, cool, nice,
Okay,
nice.
thank you, because that is so much better than the one I rolled. So now it is a total of 10.
10. Yeah, that's
Woo.
great. Listen, you have found a clue. Hmm. So you put it in your mouth, and before you swallow, you get a distinct flavor. It's a kind of peppery, a little carroty. It it tastes like hemlock.
um, that was like hemlock. No, Brady, that was. You don't think she tried to poison Paul?
Well, actually, I wasn't there for that. I didn't hear what kind of pie she was gonna make, so I will just ask, I suppose. Do you know what kind of pie she was trying to make?
Oh yeah, I heard. Well, no, I was in the I was zoned out when they
You
were
were in
saying
the
what
void.
kind of-
We
I was
have
in the
no
void.
idea.
No, but I mean, Violet's there. You know,
Oh.
Eric is doing the heavy lifting of being petted.
Hmm.
I think.
Okay, we'll kind of like mosey Violet a little bit more to the side. Violet, I tasted the pie. What kind of pie was she making? Because it had something that wasn't. I don't. It had hemlock.
Oh,
Whisper it really
it
low.
was supposed to be a strawberry rhubarb pie, but if you were going to poison someone with a strawberry rhubarb pie, you could just include the leaves. You can't eat those.
I know nothing about what does actually. I know that it's not good, but like
Every single part of the plant of hemlock is poisonous to ingest. It's
Yes.
not from root to flower.
But if you were making a strawberry rhubarb pie and you wanted to poison someone, you just include the leaves. That's the easier way to go about it, and it looks like you just made a simple mistake.
I don't know how one could. Are you saying that she just got confused?
I mean, I don't see how she could have been confused. It's a pretty big difference between hemlock and rhubarb.
Melanie looks over and she says, "Where did you get that pie?"
Your oven, dear.
That's not my pie. I put a lattice on top of my pie.
Mm,
Did you
It's got
take
a
the lattice off?
streusel.
no. Where is your pie, dear?
I don't know.
Could look around, do a quick look to see if there's any pie with a lattice on it.
Sure, give me a medal. And I think this is probably reason.
Reason.
And
Plus
baking?
one. And baking?
No, you're
There's
looking.
lattice work.
Lattice work.
You have to know what lattice work is to put it to know, and the baking.
So I got 8.
I mean, that is a complicated success. You do find that pie. It is in the garbage. It is completely
Oh.
unbaked, like
In the
in the trash.
ooh. Mel, dear, did anybody go by your station while you were baking by any chance?
I mean, I think Scott did, but like, we were all kind of walking around. You know, I put the pie in, and then I know how long it has to cook, so I just walked away, and I thought I would just like maybe go have a cup of tea or something. And then when I came back, I noticed that the oven wasn't on. Such a dumb mistake. But, I mean, we all went and looked at each other's ovens, right? Like,
I'm just gonna go talk to who was it? Buck was the camera?
Buck, yes.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
simpatico. Maybe we should go talk to Buck and see if we can pull that footage.
We're gonna be
You're
a
good at
trio of
talking. You talk.
Okay. Buck! Oh, Buck!
Buck is
Just a trio of old
good-humored,
women.
handsome, poetic. Oh, look at you, you beauty. What can I do for
Oh.
you?
You charmer. Well, you know what? I don't quite know where I went wrong with my pie earlier today, so I was hoping that I could pull some of the footage so that I could see. I think maybe I added too much salt. So would you be able to just sort of pull the footage from today so that I can have a look? real quick?
Sure. I mean, we can look through it, of course, but
Absolutely.
the camera does love you. Every time I looked over,
Wow.
like a little halo of light. So
you
beautiful.
flatterer. If I was into men, I would probably marry you on the spot.
Oh, that's all I need to hear. Give me a medal roll, and this is with presents, please.
Absolutely. A 6 and a 4 for a 10 plus 1 from my presents.
Woo! Well done. Now we got those dice
Love it.
working.
They
Had to
had
get the
warm up
void on
first.
out.
Much like-
just had to
much
get
like
the
an
void
oven
out.
mitts.
Thank you, Void, for giving us good dice roll.
So as he's everything is in fast motion backwards. He's looking for stuff. He crosses over what looks very much like an argument between Scott and Paul.
Do you be able to run that back really quickly?
Oh, but
No,
you're not in that part, darling. I don't know why you would.
mean, But like, I really like the juicy gossip. You know how it is.
Oh, I do know how it is.
I kind of want like a little bit of the inside scoop.
Oh, love that. Alrighty. Yeah, sure. So he pulls back and he's like, you just tell me when to stop.
And I'll just play the argument from the beginning.
They are out of frame, and it looks like, well, not out of frame, but they are like out of camera shot of
Focus.
like they're just a little fuzzy. The background, it's unmistakably Scott and Paul, and they are actively covering their mics, but they are definitely having an argument, and every so often a word pulls through, something about never calling, and something about tired of waiting and that kind of thing.
Sarah, I have a question for you.
Have an answer.
Visually,
Mm-hmm.
Scott and Paul.
Yeah.
Do they have like similar characteristics? Like build, face shape, features, anything like that? Eye color?
No,
Strikingly blue eyes?
not strikingly. No, neither of them. They don't both have strikingly blue eyes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
You can give me a reason roll to see if you can
I would
put something together.
I would love to do that. That is 9.
You can tell you have seen this enough. This is a lover's spat.
Oh, it's a lover's quarrel. Oh. Oh.
Yeah. And I think yet again, the complication is that when you look up, Scott staring daggers at y'all.
Stop looking at me.
We're not very we see that and then we all just look like the little biddies we are. It's
We all look over there, he's staring at us, and then we're all like,
Ah, ah.
okay.
Okay, so
I
You have
will
you have col-
mention that to
you've
the
collected
friends
enough
once
key
we're away
clues
from Buck.
that if you would like to theorize, you have enough clues. So, if you could incorporate all of these clues into your theory, as many as you can incorporate into your theory, you get to add that number
So if we
to
succeed, we're just right?
yeah.
That's cool.
Oh,
Yeah, so if you
okay.
roll a 10 plus, it is the correct solution.
Do void clues count, or that's completely separate?
If you can incorporate it into the
Okay.
you
I just
you
didn't
have to figure
know.
out how to incorporate it into the mystery.
Because I think technically we've got 8 clues, but only 6 if there's no voids. Which,
Okay,
like, you know.
this is similar
Smart.
to how they do it in Apocalypse Keys.
Yep.
I got you.
Okay. So, would we like to theorize? Are we doing it? Is now the time?
I would love to.
Okay.
Ooh, yes.
First clue. I have them all written down in sequential order.
Okay.
So we've got the first clue was on Donna's phone. There was a lovey-dovey, but not actually, it was very explicit text message to Buck the cameraman. Okay, so we already have established that at the very least, Donna is having some kind of affair or is in some kind of a relationship with Buck. Number 2, when she dropped her purse, there were 2 plane tickets in there, but neither one of them had Paul's name on them. Okay. Number 3, written across the top of the cake was, "You won't get away with this," in beautifully done cake decoration. That was raspberry icing.
Yummy.
Did we ever learn what kind of pie Paul was making?
Or
Or not
you
Paul.
mean-
Scott?
Nobody
He-
asked him. There were
Oh.
berries involved, but nobody asked him what kind of pie he was making.
Yeah, we didn't
Process
ask.
of elimination, though.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
only you 3 were making berries
Yes.
themed.
Yeah, and I
yous
was
were-
like a
you-
mixed berry thing.
Mixed berry, but
Surprise,
not
I'm the
raspberry.
murderer.
Haha. And the other one
It doesn't
was
matter
making
what I roll.
strawberry.
I know who did it. It was me.
I know who did it. It was me. Thank you. I wouldn't have been so sloppy. 4th clue. The shop is closing. Paul opened a bakery in our town as a precursor to the show. Melanie's parents' shop is closing. 5th clue, there was hemlock in the pie. And 6th clue is that Scott and Paul were lovers.
Ooh.
I think it's pretty easy to probably include like 2 to 4 of these. I don't know necessarily.
I think I could incorporate a lot
hear
together
it.
with this. So first thing, we have an easy scapegoat with, of course, our poor frazzle-dazzled young little miss. Of course, somebody who's been around multiple times at the circuit would know their way around the pie and what times is good time to like just slip in. And of course, know they're a pro. They've been here before. Somebody gets frazzle-dazzled, they walk away from their oven, switcheroo, boom, boom. And she has a motive that makes her very easy to kind of
Pin it on,
easy to do the
so
setup.
pin it
wouldn't-
on.
blame wouldn't
Yeah.
fall on the murderer. So we're all like, I guess we should probably talk about who do we think did it. I'm assuming we're gonna go with Scott.
I think
Scott.
we're going with Scott.
We're going with
seems like
Scott.
a good.
Scott does seem like a good bad guy.
Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't freaking out. I'm
Mhm.
assuming that you told us he wasn't freaking out when it happened.
Yeah, he was always at the very, very beginning. It said that Scott looks around his station feeling superior, was like super calm at the time, and that did not change once it was announced who done it, or that there was
And
a murder. Rather,
I feel like he felt more pressure to like make it official since it's obvious that he has a beard. Like, yeah, there's a beard. Oh, sorry. There's the wife. There probably was an agreement
Mhm.
that maybe
Right.
this is like
that's what I was assuming.
is an agreement.
This
that,
also
hey,
wasn't a clue, but was a weird thing that we like kind of noticed that like Scott's been on the show before, and it's kind of strange that he would be on the show again.
back.
And he's
Yeah,
also the
especially-
only person that's not from this town participating.
Yeah, and especially since in the previous episode they had an argument about there's like a big blow up
About
on
muffins.
the show.
Yeah.
Muffins.
Unless that was done for the cameras to draw
Or
people
maybe
off
that was
scent.
maybe that was how they fell in love and met.
Was
like
Enemies
it was
to
like
lovers.
it was always
Enemies
this
to
like sort of
lovers.
heated
Enemies.
passion thing. Yeah, and then, I don't
Yeah.
know.
And then like maybe he pushed back, and so he was just like, you know what, I'm done with it. I'm gonna wipe my hand clean of this man and make it so I can get away with some people. There'll be crazy exes out there. I'm just saying.
There's a couple different people that we could have pinned this on. The raspberry coulis that's in the cake could have been used to pin it on
Jane.
who we haven't really spoken to. I noticed either.
She kind of went
Yeah.
to her trailer.
Jane kind of stiff upper lip went to her trailer. Unclear what's going on with that, but I do think that Scott is a good option for our villain, and
Also,
has,
he keeps giving us the-
ample means, motive, and opportunity.
Yeah, he is also just glaring at us kind of this whole
A
time.
lot of glaring.
Yeah.
We're just
Yeah.
kindly old
Riddled
women.
with glares. What do you think we're meddling? I think though, if we
dare
go
you.
with the like we've got clear, obvious example, like two different clues, actually three different clues, I guess, that go to like the idea that Donna was not really engaged in an actual relationship with Paul.
Mhm.
We've got two clues for that. We also have the obvious Scott and Paul connection, right? So you can have that whole entire thing like all contributing to, all right, this is basically like confirmed that Scott and Paul were in some kind of a relationship. And then you have the like someone trying to frame Melanie by making that the like by like staging her pie, messing up her pie, whatever. And also the idea of like, you won't get away with this, reinforcing that Melanie would have been, that's a message that Melanie would have said. That's not a message that would have come from Scott. In my thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I also think that maybe since the pie got left behind, maybe this could be a void thing. Well, I don't know. That like he had the intentions of using this pie and it like disappeared and he was like, I don't know where that went. So I guess I'll just like throw this one together real quickly with what I have on hand and I don't know, stab some or like I don't know. I think that you could try like because there's the knife, right? He's obviously stabbed, so what did the hemlock matter? Or wait, other option. There's two different murders going on here.
Oh,
You have someone who like wanted to do something with the pie, sneak something in, whatever, and you have crime of passion from Scott, maybe, of lovers quarrel, stabbing with a knife.
For our keeper, what is the complexity of the mystery?
It's a 7.
Ooh, okay.
So you can have up to 4 clues that you incorporate.
Okay.
I think we have at least 3 solid cries to passion clues.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We could probably
So if it's a 7 minus 3 clues,
That'd be a 5.
or
4.
Oh, sorry, 4. I'm math.
Which means that we would so that means that we would be at a -4 for our roll.
a -4.
Because it's the number of clues incorporated into the theory minus the mystery's complexity. So we would roll +3, but we would also roll -7 from the mystery's complexity.
Number of clues incorporated into the theory. So in a way, minus the mystery's complexity. Wait.
Oh no. Okay, so you can use as many clues as you have.
Mhm.
As long as we can
As long
incorporate
as you
them
have
or
at
otherwise
least
explain them away.
gathered 4 clues. So if you have more than that, you can use it, and then you minus the mystery's complexity. So you're
So
not
theoretically-
allowed to theorize until you've gathered, in this case, at least 4 clues. But
Okay.
if you
Gotcha.
have more than that, you can incorporate them, and then we subtract
From
minus
the
the mystery's.
complexity. Gotcha.
So we got 6, so it's only going to be a -1 then?
Only if we can incorporate all of them. But technically,
of
we do
them.
have 2 void clues. If we could figure out how to incorporate one of them, we could maybe figure that out. Because there is like a explained away
Mhm.
situation, right? It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
incorporated into the theory. So it could be like like, so for example, the 2 with, that have to do with Donna, and Buck, like,
Mhm.
those are 2 things that could easily just be explained away as, yeah, this has nothing to do with this. This is just sort of this
a
other,
separate thing.
a separate drama that's
Yeah,
happening,
they're
and that's
red
what these
herrings.
are.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. But I do like that there's been 2 conspiracies, because maybe he was looking at the cake and then got stabbed in the back in a crime of passion. I like that theory.
Right.
So we could just be like, hey, we know there's 2 things going on.
It could also be, I mean, if we wanted to like pin it on Melanie, that Scott was more contrived, had all of this plan, somehow like either like misplaced the pie or had gotten it there or whatever. And Melanie's the one that went and did a crime of passion, not in like a romantic way, but in like a, like, was already upset and kind
Desperate
of
to save.
inconsolable.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Desperate to
Maybe
save
the
Hound
void
Business.
stared into her a little too deep and she kind of went a little feral. And then kind of like, or it portaled her there. And when she came to, she was like, oh, what's happening? You know, like, as a possibility.
Mm.
So we could have potentially, we could also have 2 suspects with Donna and
Buck.
Not Buck, I would say. One wanting to get rid of her husband and the other wanting to
You're saying Scott?
maybe
Like, who are you
Scott,
talking
maybe
about?
the relationship soured for both of them.
Well,
And they
Mhm.
like they
both have
worked
enemies.
together.
That they work,
They're
yeah.
working together.
Yeah. And also the other thing is that you have to be. We had the last other clue is the icing. The style of icing is something that a proficient baker who knows the
Yeah.
books.
So we can tie that one to Scott. Scott would definitely have been a proficient baker enough
Or
to.
Hail Mary, Jane, a person we haven't talked to.
Yeah, amazing. We're pinning it on Jane. Let's go. Yeah, you don't have any. I mean, you're rolling at a -7 then because, well, 6, I guess. -6.
Actually, it might work with Jane because everybody else. Oh, okay. So everybody else was at the baking thing. Only Jane and Paul went to their trailer.
That's true. Yeah, we don't necessarily have a timeline for when people were where, but Donna could have gone literally anywhere at any time. So
yeah.
it's entirely possible that that like there was sort of a bait and switch of pies and things, and maybe the you won't get away with this is entirely unrelated. Maybe that is from Jane, but that's like maybe he was thinking about leaving the show. Maybe he was thinking about like he was actually debating leaving the show to be with Scott or something. And that's what they were like fighting
Oh.
about. That was like, it's time for us to do this and blah, 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 blah. And he's like, I don't want to blow up my career, but he had been thinking about it and Jane knew. And so she did that. And it's got nothing to do with a murder, but it is the thing that she did.
Okay. I don't. Hmm.
I'm just trying to include all the clues.
Yeah, it's just we left out talking with the one Jane. Yeah. Jane.
Well, what I'm saying is that that doesn't have to be incorporated into the theory. It just has to be something that we can explain away. So I'm saying that that's actually something like the type of the whole entire cake, the you won't get away with this, the raspberry, like all of that kind of stuff actually is a little weird unless we're going specifically with the like trying to pin it on Melanie, a thing that neither Donna and Scott would know really because they're not from this town.
Yeah.
So like unless they're like, well, we can obviously see that this business is failing, I guess, because no one goes in there. I guess that's possible. But
Well,
like
Paul opened a bakery in the town in preparation for the
right,
show.
Paul
So
did, but like, I mean, I guess were Scott and or Donna also around for that? Was Paul even technically around for that, or was it just like this is a celebrity bakery? You know,
Yeah.
like that's what I mean. So I think. I don't
Crime
know.
of passion?
I
I
don't
say
know.
crime of passion. That's my and then
I agree.
yeah.
with crime
How
of passion.
many clues can we? Because I'm like trying to figure out.
okay, so you're going with
There's too many pies.
Scott, right? You think Scott did it?
I think
Yeah,
that's
I
the
agree,
thing that we have
Scott.
the most clues for.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So you think Scott did it and tried to pin it on Melanie?
Tried to pin it on Melanie. But potentially also tried to pin it on Jane with the
Just trying to
raspberry.
like throw suspicion around, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
off of
tried to throw
him.
suspicion off of him and onto others.
Okay,
Huh.
so tell me how many clues you're incorporating. Tell me about the cake. The cake was to throw suspicion
Onto Jane.
onto Jane.
Onto Jane.
Oh yeah, it's also cake and not pie. So like
Yeah.
it's a completely different. I mean, we were about to do a cake round, but like we haven't done that yet.
Yeah, we haven't done it yet. I mean, okay. And what is it?
Because-
So we have the one.
We have
Yeah.
okay.
You
so
said
we've
that one
got-
was to throw suspicion on Jane. What about the
Mhm.
text message?
okay. So I think going in order from first to last, the text message and the plane tickets can be explained away as like in connection to Scott and Paul being lovers. Donna had someone else who she was seeing, and so not like a motive for murder necessarily, just of like a like maybe she and Paul had been talking recently about how he was maybe considering actually genuinely being with Scott, and so she was like, "Buck, we can do this stuff, and yay, and like whatever, and jet set and do whatever we want." So that's not connected to the murder, but is explained away
Hard.
as like just their relationship.
Okay, so that's two.
The argument on camera.
Yeah. So that's the Scott and Paul were lovers piece of evidence. And yeah, and the fact that they were also arguing in it.
And
The-
proficient baking skills needed.
The cake.
Yeah, that's not a clue though. It has to be like
That's just it.
it has to be the official clues that we were given.
Yeah.
Here, I'll copy and
Was
paste those
The
into
business going under.
The business
yes,
going
the
under.
business going under would contribute to him pinning it on someone else. And all that here. I've sent all of the clues in our chat so
Mhm.
everyone can see them.
Yeah, so two of the
yes.
clues are just the lovey-dovey.
Yeah, because I got two clues from talking to Donna. One clue was the phone, and one clue was the plane tickets.
Mhm.
Then the cake with the icing, then the Melanie's parents' shop closing. Then there's some Boyd stuff in there.
Mhm.
Then hemlock being in the pie, which I don't know how that really has anything to do with anything at this point.
I mean,
No.
could be attempting to pin it on.
Melanie again
Melanie,
because
okay.
it was in her oven. That's true. Yeah, so that could contribute to that whole thing.
Actually, I could make it kind of fit a little bit better if we changed the person who we're blaming.
Who?
Oh, who are we blaming?
As Buck and Donna as a team to do both to have. So we'll have because Buck clearly fast forward happenstance while they were having an argument. Camera crew always goes in first before the regular clues, so they would know, hey, maybe they got some scuttle that there's the shop closing down. They're obviously going to take a plane out of here, and they're not sure if he's going to actually they're not sure he's going to come out about this. So
maybe their duo trying to pin it on either Scott or
Mel. Yes.
The only other thing I will say, though, is that unless we figure out something completely having nothing to do with anything that's going on, and it's an entire aside, the cake with the message doesn't play into any of this at all because neither Donna nor Buck are cake decorators.
No.
So,
yeah. So, I only think it's a crime. Like, this seems like also crime. Like, that's also for crime of passion. She could have stabbed her husband in the back while they're
or yelled at Buck to do it or whatever, And then
the cake or the poison cake, if case she didn't get the kahoonies to stab him. Switch, camera crew. Everybody crews there all the time. No one's going to notice if somebody switches the baked good out.
There are other camera people. Buck is not the only one, but Buck would also know where the cameras were and how to avoid them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Jane would also eat that pie, though. It wouldn't just be if this was the pie that she had served in the pie round. Because why is that pie there? What does this pie have to do with anything? What is it doing in here?
Yeah. Okay, so we got 3 solid clues if we go with the lovers. And yeah.
I think you could get 5 clues for Scott.
I think we had 5 clues for Scott.
Yeah, so I guess we're gonna...
Because I think honestly, regardless of who we go with, we can still explain away the reason that it isn't Donna and Buck or whatever, because they're just doing their own thing. We can just explain those 2 things away, regardless.
Okay. Okay. So you are rolling at a -2. All right.
Whoa.
Who wants to roll? For theorize. And I think you can add reason because you are.
Did anyone take extra in reason? I don't think
Not
so.
one of us. I think we're all sitting at +1, so it's
+1.
Okay.
Okay. Does it overlap with any of the things that we're interested in? You do baking, and what's your other thing, Rose?
Unfortunately, we can't add any of the cozy stats to it. For advantage.
I feel like, how about for evens, how about one, both, since I feel like you 2 got the most clues, so how about one of you roll 1 dice and the other one roll 1 dice, and we'll add it up.
You can add a crown if you look on your sheet.
What are those?
Everybody adds a crown. So
the crown of the queen and the crown of the void.
So if you all do a flashback, I think it increases your success here. But I'm gonna let you roll first if you want, because you might just succeed.
So crowns are things that we can just
you can
do.
Decide afterwards. I don't like the roll that happened. And you can increase it by 1.
Okay.
All right. So do you guys like my thing of when you each roll one
die and then add them together?
Sure. Oh God. Okay.
Teamwork.
Go.
Teamwork.
Big money. No way.
Oh.
What did you get?
What'd you get?
What'd you get?
I didn't roll.
Okay, so we got a 2 and a 3. We got a 5. Okay, so if you each put on a crown of the queen, or I guess a crown of the void, we can push it up to that complicated success.
We're adding reason to this as roll as well?
But yeah, that won't matter because it's a 6.
Okay, never mind.
Well, but then only technically one of us would have to do it to get it to a 7, right?
No, everyone in the party has to do a crown if
Oh,
for
I
the
understand.
for
So
theorize.
you tick one off and then
Does it
it's
have to?
not that
Is
we
it?
each get a +1, it's that as a whole we get a +1.
Well, you get it moves it up a tier. So it wouldn't have mattered if you had rolled a 2. It would go up 1 tier, which is that 7 to 9 tier.
Okay.
I'll take the pomegranate kernel because I looked into the void and I stared at it for a good solid minute.
It can never be cleared. You are obsessed with the void now.
Yay! It makes good pies, I'm sure. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
So we don't all have to do the same thing.
I'm gonna say no.
I was like, wait hold on a second.
It makes sense. Thematically, it makes sense for me to be obsessed with the void because of
For
the
sure.
staring into the void.
I'm going to do a flashback
Yeah.
to a rainy night. I'm walking back alone from a cemetery. It is pouring rain, and I've got this umbrella, and I'm walking by myself. And I hear the saddest, most pitiful meow. And hiding under a nearby streetcar, I see a tiny calico cat.
Oh. Is this Eric Wilson?
Listen, calicos are female cats mostly.
Hmm.
Eric
Oh, you got a
Wilson
special. Yeah.
comes out from under, like very tentatively, and I think I sort of bundle up this soaking wet, sad cat into my coat and put her under my umbrella.
Hmm.
And that is a flashback of my fondest memory with one of my children.
Yes. Love that. All right. What about Birdie?
I think that we have a flashback to a let me think here real quick. I think that it flashes back to a sort of darker like night in winter. It is snowing outside. It kind of seems like there is like a little bit of like a blizzardy situation going on. And Birdie is quite young. I would say like probably somewhere in the like late 20s, early 30s time.
Okay.
And it actually like begins with the her and who we can probably assume is Amos. And they're kind of walking around each other, not really talking, like they maybe have just recently had a fight. And Birdie is like working on something in her little like the shack that they had out back at the time. And she kind of puts on her coat and like starts to like leave and is kind of very not in a good mood, and then gets just smacked in the face with a snowball. And I think that she goes through this sort of like shock, and then this this sort of like kind of annoyance, and then ultimately like a and sees that Amos is just kind of ducking behind a tree after having thrown a snowball at her. And they have this big, like they're kids again, like running around with each other. and sort of tackling each other in the snow and like just having these like really, really tender moments of kind of letting everything else sort of drift away. And I think that is her fondest memory with her late partner was just kind of like this
That's
one
really
night.
sweet. So the three of you get up and loudly proclaim that this is who done it. Right? Like you were like, it's Scott. It's you. And you put all your information out there. And there's this moment when like everybody's like, what? And this is when the flashbacks start to happen for you all. There's just like this moment where there's a big pause, and then Scott just turns tail and starts running. Just tears out of the tent. And you have the opportunity to take him down. It's time to use vitality.
I'm gonna go tackle Scott.
Go tackle him. Give me a roll. Give me a
Rose.
move.
Go get him, Rose.
I believe.
Oh, plus one. That's a 13.
13, let's go.
Yeah.
I
So
have it
you've
right
done it. He
Could
starts
you imagine
running,
getting tackled by an old
and you
woman?
just like in just the correct motion. Like the timing was just perfect. You just leap and you like catch him. And the two of you fall to the ground in a big thud. He cushions you perfectly. You are fine. And it's at that moment that the police, the sheriff finally arrives. This little tiny small town sheriff. And he's like, I knew I had my best men on it. And that is the end of the episode.
Men.
But at post-credit scene, we're back in the tent. Everybody has left. There's there's caution tape everywhere. It was clearly an active crime scene, and the camera zooms in on that oven, and it turns itself on, and it opens up, and dark tendrils start reaching out of the oven, and then
hate that.
that's the end of the episode.
I hate that a lot.
Heck yeah.
Well, that seems bad. Yeah, so that was Brindlewood Bay. Thank you so much for playing it. Let's do our moments of gratitude. What happened during play today that you were like, all right, let's shout out some good stuff from our fellow role players?
I would say shout out to Anita for incorporating your Sir I forget the name of the
Eric?
Sir Eric in almost every scene you were in.
Just brought him in all the time.
There. He's baking. He was being a supportive therapy cat, and was just being the best cat boy.
The goodest boy.
Eric Wilson is actually a reference to like a Canadian mystery novelist who writes I think it's the Scott, or no, not Scott. It's basically a Canadian version of the Hardy Boys, and it's Liz
Incredible.
and Tom Austin is the name of the Liz and Tom Austin mysteries. So there's like a whole bunch of them, and that's what that was a reference to.
Nice.
It's like
That's
I gotta
cute.
represent my Canadianisms.
Go
ahead.
No, you're fine. You go ahead.
I was just going to say that my moment of gratitude goes to Banzai for being a buff grandma and tackling her
Buff.
baddie.
I love the
grandma.
2 times that Vitality got to come into play
Real
was
good.
her just being like, yeah, I can tank some poison. Don't worry about that. That's fine. And then her tackling the bad guy. Very good.
So good.
I got that vitality for a reason.
Sure did.
I think that my favorite moment, honestly, was just kind of the entire time that Sarah was talking as Donna. It was very, very good. The accent was like just so on point. All the mannerisms were there. I don't know, just kind of everything about that character was
Donna.
very, very good.
She's just a schmuck. Like she's
Yeah.
just
She doesn't care about Paul.
no.
Definitely not enough to go to jail for.
Definitely not. Yeah, I don't think she is a criminal mastermind, as it turns out.
No.
Rad. Hey friends. Tell me where we can find you on the intrawebs. I'm gonna start with Faye. Where can we find you? What do you have coming up?
I'm on the interwebs. I can be found across that under the name Mendari, which is spelled Mendarii. Mostly I stream on Twitch. I also have other platforms that I'm on. In most of them, if you just look up the name, you'll find me.
Whispered into the wind.
Whispered into the wind. Well, it's like, wow, okay, do I like there's so many platforms. Most of it's Twitch.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, and do I have anything coming up? I don't know. Maybe. I'm working on a Marmot game.
Marmots.
Marmots. And that'll be great. Maybe I'll convince Sarah to play with me when
I'm
it's
in.
done.
Let's do it. Let's
And-
be marmots. It's gonna be weird.
Let's be marmots. Someone's gonna have to kill them. It's fine.
Oh.
Uh-oh. They're such cute little guys, though. Anyway, that's me.
Cute little guys. All right. That was a meandering.
I'm so
That's
bad at
I
these,
love
Sarah.
it.
You know.
So good. All right. Well, let's see what's going on with Banzai. What do you have coming up?
Hello, everybody. My name is Banzai Baby. You can find me, Banzai Baby, that's BABY, or on TikTok, and Banzai Baby, BABEE, on Instagram. And if you're into daily RPGs, solo RPGs, just hit me up. I'm there. A lot of nerdy game stuff. And also this Friday, hey, Gen Con, I'm on Table Takes. Anita is going to be joining us as well, so you'll see both of us. And then after that, we'll have Sarah's Table.
It's true.
So
many things.
plug
So
those
wait,
in.
wouldn't
plug
it have
those in.
already happened? then?
Yeah. So I told
So
you,
you're-
time runs differently here on Sarah's Table.
Time.
There's
Yes.
there's a void thing.
Wait time.
Can I roll for a clue? Or
I mean, careful.
can I
the
meddle
void,
with Sarah's
the void
table?
might get you.
Boy, might get you. But yes. So just find me on those three areas: Gen Con TV, Banzai Baby, on those three areas.
What about you, Anita? Where can we find you? What you got coming up?
Hello, everybody. My name is Anita. I am also known as Panita on the internet. That's Pahnita. And you can find me usually running the Critical Misses channel. I'm the founder and one of the producers over there. By the time this airs, we will have wrapped up our GM submissions for the new season. So
So y'all missed out.
you might have missed out, but it might still be open for another couple hours if you want to sign up.
Man.
Ooh.
Void
I think
time.
we're probably closer to midnight. Void time. But other than that, you can find me on Sundays over at Indoor Adventures channel for an Apocalypse Keys game that we play. On Tuesdays, I'm over on Modifius playing Star Trek Adventures. And on Wednesdays on my channel, I will be running a game. What it is, people just voted on it. And
Just have to
all it
find
is
out.
is a Space Invader emoji. You have no other context.
Perfect.
That's it. That's
That's what I
all.
like to hear.
That's me.
Space Invaders. Hi, I'm Sarah Moore. You can find me all over the internet at Pixies and Pins. My website is pixiesandpins.com. And you can find me here every Friday night on Sarah's Table at 5 p.m. Pacific. I don't know what we're playing next week. It's going to be a surprise to everybody. Maybe even me. We don't know. I'm going to be here. Things are going to happen. Yeah. So I would like to thank Jason Cordova for making this dope, cozy little game. I really enjoy it. I like being old ladies. It is my goal in life to be an old lady. I think I'm really close. It's going to be good. Thank you to my table of adorable murder mavens. appreciate you being here so much. Thank you to my partner Jeff for being both my personal tech support and also my tech for this show, and for doing his best to help me stay sane as a person. Thank you to Marcus Mays, who is the tech over at Gen Con TV, who helps us run smooth. Thank you to Peter Atkinson and to Gen Con for giving me this platform and trusting me to do all of this craziness here on this show. And thank you to all of the viewers who hung out with us tonight. Super fun. Thanks for being here. And as always, keep making art and keep being art. We'll see you next time.